Good evening, movie nuts. Today we'll be Tom Cruise running into Oblivion. This movie is another Joseph Kosinski piece. We have seen Tom and Joe recently with the latest Top Gun Maverick movie, which we deemed a perfect 10 out of 10 movie. We've never done this before. Will Oblivion be ranked up there with Top Gun, or has it fallen short?
Now that's a good movie. I swear to God, if you go higher than a 6, we're done.
So, a quick overview of the movie is that it's the year 2077, and Jack Harper works as a drone repairman on Earth, but the Earth was left in ruins from a war with aliens. And he has 2 weeks left on his mission before he joins survivors in a colony on the moon Titan, which I believe orbits Saturn. And Jack's concept of reality is flipped around after he rescues a stranger from a downed spacecraft. And the woman's arrival triggers a chain of events that culminates Jack's nearly single-handed battle to save mankind. And as always, guys, don't forget to leave a like and smash that subscribe button. And if you got a Grammy or a friend that absolutely loves Tom Cruise, because we know Tom Cruise is a huge hit with the grandmas, then you got to send them this channel so that they can subscribe and get all the Tom Cruise content that they need. Now,
Right.
Without further ado, Cody, I believe we are starting with some industry news.
Yes, breaking news from ITM here. Buzz Lightyear, or Lightyear, the movie. We want to discuss the ratings because there are early ones in, because I believe it is out already in certain countries depending on your time zone. We're looking at a 4.1 out of 10. It's got
Oh, it went down.
Yeah, it's low. It's really low. And I am surprised.
4.1. Lightyear is supposed to be the origin story to Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
And so it's not the toy that is the origin story. It's the actual person that the toy is based off of.
Yeah.
That we're seeing the movie of, which is such a cool concept.
I like
to
that
see
a lot. Yeah, I thought that
because
was really interesting.
a lot of us have grown up with Toy Story, and we just know Buzz as that character to just have shown up, so we don't really know much about him. To actually see a movie with this type of animation style too, like, it looks really, really good. So to see it get review bombed, and we'll explain why we think it's review bombed, but to see it get review bombed like this is actually a little bit heartbreaking for me, because I was pretty hyped about this movie.
Well, it was kind of their only choice. I feel like they were burning us out on Toy Story stuff, so they had to go a different direction. They had to. What?
I just saw what you did.
Oh, you saw what I did on stream? Well, Tom had to be here. I figured
Special guest Tom Cruise.
Tom
joined
Cruise
us
is
today.
keeping our logo. Well, technically he's about to fall off our logo. Because I love that meme from when that movie came out, Rogue Nation.
It's so funny.
So, yeah.
So go into the reason why we think it's getting review bombed.
Well, I think it was rumored. Oh, it's not rumored. It's true. It was banned in many countries because of a same-sex kiss scene in the movie. Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing a lot of articles talking about how that's the reason it's being review bombed. I mean, I don't know. I guess on IMDb, though, you don't, obviously there's no way to prove you've seen the movie. So I think a lot of it is just people that are in those countries angry to find out they can't see it now that it's released, and those countries were like, nope, not going to happen.
Yeah.
We want to talk about how it's not Tim Allen anymore voicing Buzz, which I think, considering the origin story is supposed to be a person, and obviously they probably didn't have Buzz himself do the voice for the toy, that makes sense to me. Like, because it's kind of like, think about it in real life. If we were to have this amazing figure from, who knows, maybe it's like years ago, so we can't get him to voice the toy, or he doesn't want to voice the toy, but we want the toy to sell, we have to pick a funnier and sillier voice to be for the toy. That way, it sells.
Yeah, I found that interesting because, like, through some of the research I was doing, they were saying that they wanted to have a more serious voice actor and like a more serious actor. So like Tim Allen was too goofy, and they called him funnier and dumber, whereas Chris Evans was a like I want to say a high caliber actor and could
Macho.
bring a more serious tone.
Yeah, which
to,
makes
to
sense for
Buzz.
the character. Like, it makes sense to me that the character is supposed to be perceived as this high caliber, like you were saying, very top notch
Yeah,
astronaut. And then, of course, it's a toy. They want to sell. They want to sell the toy to kids. Of course, the toy is going to have a sillier voice. So even though that's
yeah.
not probably the main intention, that's kind of like in my head, like the lore of why they did that in the world of
Wow,
Toy Story. I think that's
this
probably
is
what happened.
this is crazy. Like there's 51% 1 stars, and it's not getting review bombed for the reason that we think it is. It's getting review bombed because it's just a bad movie apparently.
Let's take a quick look at the Rotten Tomatoes. We got a 79% certified fresh and a 93%
Yeah,
audience score. So we're getting very, very
it keeps changing.
changed. But I think
It's a certified fresh now.
but I'm thinking what happened was you're only
Wow.
seeing 50 verified ratings, and the thing is they are verified. I don't think IMDb is verified. That's 4,500. I'm sorry, 4,500 ratings compared to here 50. So I don't know. Either this doesn't have enough ratings yet, or they are more.
It keeps changing though because it used to be a certified. It was a 79% fresh tomato, not
Yeah.
certified. So it's literally changing. Like within the entire day, it went from 100% audience score to 93, and a 79 fresh tomato to a 79
Yeah.
certified fresh.
We're also seeing way less
So
reviews, and I think that Rotten Tomatoes is more. What do you call it? They don't let anyone just write on their website. I think IMDb
yeah.
you can make an account and rate a movie. On to Oblivion now. Very excited.
Oh
We're
yeah.
both very excited to talk about this movie, and we have some different little
I was
sections.
excited to watch this movie. I've been wanting to watch this movie for a long time, and I honestly thought that this movie came out in 2016 or like a lot sooner than it did. I
Well,
want you to kick it off since you took notes.
Okay, yeah, I'm very happy with my notes. Let me just pull up my specialty notes here. Drone repairman Jack Harper has no memory of his life prior to the mission of being sent down to Earth to protect the remaining, I would say, like plants, like power plants above the ocean that are sucking up the water. They are trying to gather as much water from the Earth as possible before they all, on this spaceship, the Tet, head to Titan. That's where the rest of humanity is. His job is to repair the drones that are protecting the machines that are taking the water from the Earth. He also has a woman with him, and basically she keeps comms on him.
Victoria.
Like, oh, Victoria. I thought it was like a spacey sci-fi
He,
name.
he did like a nickname or something. I think he did like Vicky.
Yeah.
Something.
So basically, Victoria and Jack Harper, they are one of many repair groups. There's two of them. One runs comms, one does the repairs. They keep an eye on the drones, and they make sure that the drones are protecting these water-sucking machines. That's the basis of the movie until things unfold. Major spoilers, obviously. Quite the movie in terms of twists. I'd say there are a few good twists in this movie that I would say you don't see coming. I don't want to explain it too much because there's a lot. The movie is explained really well, and I don't want to do it injustice by trying to explain it here, because if you've seen the movie you understand it. It's just there's a lot to explain, and I don't want to go in the wrong order because there are some big drops where you don't suspect something, and they're really well done. I love the story of this movie actually. I thought the story was very interesting, explained really well, and the world that they build, of a post-apocalyptic Earth is very different from what we're used to. It's more like Earth is buried on itself, or like civilization is buried, and our main character is, doesn't have memory of it, but he's finding books and artifacts such as, baseball cap, and like he sees remnants of buildings, and he has these memories maybe, and he just wonders what life is like before all this, and it's really interesting. I found the world to be very awesome to look at. The CGI was surprisingly, like, I was like, 2013, this looks really good. Like,
that's what I was saying too. I was sitting there, I was like, for 2013, this is like top notch.
Yeah, if this came out tomorrow, I wouldn't know any different. It looks great. Did you like the story?
Yeah, I was engaged throughout the entire movie. Now, mind you, I was watching this movie from 9 p.m. to 11:15 p.m. or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Like, I started it late. So for me to be tired and to continue to watch this movie throughout, that 2-hour time span, I was like, it's pretty good. I thought that I didn't want to read the movie description going into it, but I was like, I probably should. Yeah. The only thing I wished that they put into the story / the world building was I wish we saw the war, like clips of the war happening.
Oh. Yeah. Maybe.
Because the way that like Morgan Freeman's character explains it is like, Tom Cruise comes to the planet. And there's like
Jack Harper, actually.
There's like a ton of Jack Harpers,
thousands of them.
And like, did they fight the battle, or was it like the drones that were fighting? Like, I almost wanted to see that.
I think he said it was him first, and then the drones, or vice versa. It was like one or the other. It was like waves.
Yeah.
Probably the.
And
drones.
it's interesting to hear from Jack Harper's perspective, because he's like, hey. If you're reading this, like, we won the war against the aliens and whatever. So it's interesting to hear it saying, like, hey, we saved Earth, basically.
Yeah, I mean, there was that really cool shot of the moon destroyed post the attack.
Yeah.
Thought that was awesome.
And it was just in space, like, the entire time. It never, like, went away.
Yeah. No, there's some really good cinematic shots here, for sure. When that first time he flew the ship, what I loved in this movie was the technology. The drones look awesome. I love the sounds they make, the noises, like the way they move. I loved every time he got saved by one. Also, the ships, the very beginning does this awesome thing that I haven't seen in a movie. Like, a lot of times when you see a sci-fi movie, the computer screens are like just mumbo jumbo and they're just clicking anywhere, and they're like, they tell the actors just tap wherever you want, we'll just add a screen later, but in this you see, like, she's like, all right, I'm gonna talk to Jack, so she clicks Jack's comms, she says something, Jack actually gets an alert on his HUD in the spacecraft, and he sees another alert, and then she switches comms to the base and then sends him a file, and she drags the file and it appears on his screen. It's like all those little things of actually seeing how their technology in this world works was really cool, because they didn't skip it at the beginning. You see exactly how his ship like scans environments and like what he has to tap and everything. And I feel like a lot of movies skip that. They just assume you are like, it's futuristic, he just taps somewhere and it's done. But here it was like, it made it more grounded, because you like understood how his day-to-day life worked, and it was like,
it's like when you have two monitors and you like drag a tab.
Yeah, it was really cool, and they like all of it was
over.
awesome. Yeah, and I love that the HUD on his ship was really cool, and we saw a ton of it too.
I think that ship was also by far one of the coolest ships that we've seen. I really like the design of it. I liked that the cockpit would like swivel. It was like almost on like a gyroscope. And it looked pretty good.
Yeah, no, it looked great.
Like, just the CG. I mean, we'll talk.
They probably had real.
We're going to talk about the CG work later, but like, the CG in this movie was really good. Like, I wonder what other movies came out in 2013. That
I think it was
just for reference for CG, because like, I was blown away.
Yeah, it did look really good.
Movie 43, 2013?
No, we're not counting that. We're not counting that.
Isn't that funny, though? Those came out the same year. Wolf of Wall Street was 2013. Gatsby was 2013. This movie was ahead of its time. It only made 86 million in the box office.
Yeah, well, I don't remember it that well. What I loved about this was that I went in, I didn't read anything, I didn't watch anything. I just watched it, not knowing a single thing about it besides like the cover photo, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the displays in the ships themselves, seeing the repair work was cool as well. They had some great, what do you call it, visual effects and prop people, you know, making the props and all that for this movie. The weapons looked cool. This looked like a sci-fi world. The motorcycle, that's one too. The motorcycle was cool. When he pulled out a pocket motorcycle, huh?
The vibes that I was getting from the motorcycle scene,
Yeah.
and him just flying around, I was like, this has to be an homage to, his original Top Gun, because it's Tom Cruise on a bike.
I mean, yeah, but like,
and he's also flying like a jet propelled or whatever, thing. I don't know. The whole motorcycle thing though kind of felt like a callback. And then I saw aviator glasses, and I was like, maybe that's a little subtle thing.
I don't think so. I think it's
sometimes they do those. They do those.
So there were a lot of twists in this movie. Also, in terms of effects, the drones themselves looked really good. By the way, I was going to say, actually, the book series and the game series this most reminded me of was the Metro series, because in the Metro series they're stuck inside the metro in Moscow, and they believe that life doesn't exist post-war, that you can't exist outside the metro. So they think all life is only in the metro, and it's only until the main character starts getting obsessed with radio signals outside and trying to find life that they realize the war actually never ended. We were just like, they turned off the comms and we thought we were alone for years. So it was very reminiscent of that for me. His hidden...
Reminiscent?
Yeah, reminiscent. No! Stop! Don't say reminiscent. So what was your favorite twist, you'd have to say? Because we have a few. We have, finding the other human.
Oh, you had the spaceship landing, and then the drone killing the survivors.
Yeah.
That was the first one.
Yeah, finding the survivor, finding out the scavs are humans.
Yeah.
Finding out...
Going through the radiation barrier.
Yeah, finding out it's not real. Finding out she's his wife. Finding out there's multiple of him, that every other tech on Earth is also him.
Yep.
His Victoria getting killed. Finding the other Victoria.
She did that to herself.
Yeah, but she just, you don't know. I mean, she thought she didn't know the Tet was alien.
Then he goes into the actual, main, AI thing in space. Yeah. And there's, a whole breeding ground of him and Victoria.
Oh, and also seeing, their mission. The flashbacks to the original mission.
Yep.
There was a lot of good twists in this movie. They kept coming, too,
Yeah, and it was very well thought out.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of acting, just to dive into acting a little bit, Tom Cruise obviously blew it out of the water. He was amazing, obviously.
I thought they were all really good.
Yeah, they're all good. I wish we had more Morgan Freeman, but
yeah,
we got what we got. Overall, I think when you have a Tom Cruise movie, it's just you have high expectations, and
also
going into this, I had high expectations, to be honest.
In terms of acting, the voice, I loved the sounds the drones made, when they're scared or hurt and all that, and also the Tet itself. I think it was Sally, and that was cool too. The voice and how it got started to get messed up, towards the end.
It's another beautiful day.
It's another beautiful day. Yeah, I liked all that.
IMDb, pretty solid 7.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing that curve is very 7. 33%. So. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like the meat and potato, not the meat and potatoes, but I feel like the discussion is to be had as to why the critics on Rotten Tomatoes thought that this was a 53% splat.
Basically all 7. 7, 6.9,
yeah,
6.8. It's just 7. People were like, it's not bad.
On this.
Everyone just liked it, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just nothing special, maybe, but I thought maybe for the time it wasn't, but I feel like it was. I don't know.
Let's see what this one says.
Rotten Tomatoes.
This I'm just going to read this one review because it looks like it goes into a nice little in-depth thing here on IMDb. I'm just going to read it out. It's from 2013. Guy gave it an 8 out of 10. And it says, naysayers are right, but I still liked it. And it said, reading through the previous reviews, I find myself agreeing with the negative reviews in one sense, but still disagreeing overall. I walked away quite liking this movie. Most of the complaints are around technical/realism stupidities, or else being a ripoff of previous movies. In terms of the stupidities, there are plenty. Most of the negative reviews are correct, but they miss the point, which is given a more or less silly premise. Do the characters fulfill their struggle properly? Or do the characters fulfill their struggle properly? For me, the answer is a strong yes. I tend to respond to the emotions a movie is trying to convey. Ultimately, this is a story of love, of loss and love, a nice universal theme that always resonates. Given that theme, the movie's style, effects, music all worked really well to reinforce that. I liked all the performances. Be careful about critiquing modern sci-fi movies about technical stupidities too much. Most of these have a fatal flaw that would destroy most of them. How about the likelihood of star travel? Okay, you have to grant that otherwise most sci-fi movies pretty much fall flat. But still, the basic premise is not realistic. A star-faring race searching for energy is not going to bother going to Earth for its water. That is so much more easily available anywhere else. Energy itself is much more easily accessible without playing with water for fusion. Just stay within your own star, mind your asteroid belt or gas giants. Sure, it makes sense for them to make and use, for the Tet to make and use human clones, but given that, do we have a good story? I think so.
So wait, you're telling me that the Tet using Earth's water supply is not believable, but the clone army is?
I guess
that is stupid. That is stupid. You can't nitpick that.
Oh, it makes no.
We also have no idea why it's here. Like, we know that it needs the resources, but who knows? Maybe it got stranded in the Milky Way, or like, maybe maybe this isn't the only one. Maybe there's thousands of them as a superior race, and then they all go their own way gathering supplies. So maybe this one ended up here, and like, the thing is, like, we don't know how fast the Tet can travel. So let's say it can go at light speed. That's great. But, like, it's still a long journey, probably a lot of power, so it needs the supplies it can find here to do so. If it can't go at light speed, we're talking, like, trillions of miles to the closest star. It's still a long journey, And they probably need to make those clones, that's also the water that they're using for their energy source. So, I don't know. I think that if you're looking at it that way, you're just trying to find something wrong to say it's bad.
Yeah.
That's just like, you can't just say that's unbelievable when they haven't explained that part. It's supposed to be left to the imagination. Like, I wonder why it's here. It's not.
No, yeah, I get it. I think so. Moving on to Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, we're at a 53% splat and a 61% audience, which I don't get.
These people.
Yeah.
So at a glance, as I look through these reviews, it seems like the critics are upset that it doesn't have original ideas. Here's one. Here's the trouble with mainstream science fiction filmmaking these days. There's no expectation that an audience is capable of putting things together or waiting for a payoff.
I was going to say, we were able to wait for a payoff.
It's more so, what is your patience, Michael Sragow of Orange County Register? Oh my God.
Is it not based on a book? Am I wrong?
I thought it was. I don't know. Somebody on here, another critic of the Chicago Sun-Times, I can't even pronounce this name, said, if nothing else, Oblivion will go down in film history as the movie where Tom Cruise pilots a white sperm-shaped craft into a giant space uterus.
Okay, this is...
Like,
oh,
what?
So it was rumored to be based on a graphic novel, but the graphic novel was never released.
At the end of the day, people are just blaming the director for not having original ideas. That's what it's coming down to.
I can't think of a movie that did exactly this. I had no problem with it. There's no point in the movie where I was like, I've seen that before. Like, you can't, like, character drives a car. Psh, I was watching a movie last week, guy was driving a car. That's not original.
Hey,
it's
wait, that's Wheelman. They just copied Wheelman.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm not going to fault a movie on that. I don't know. I thought it was pretty original. Maybe there's other movies that have done memory wipes before. Maybe that's what they're alluding to. Killer AI, maybe, But it worked. Everything worked.
I'm trying to think of another movie that has humans as scavengers, that has drones, that has aliens sucking water, and the aliens aren't even aliens; they're AI that have cloned 2 humans to fix the drones for them. Like, I don't know. It sounds pretty unique to me.
No, and I like how
unless I'm missing something.
Too. I thought it's pretty in depth because it's like, all right, they're repairing drones to help humans get water for the new home on Titan. And I was like, wait a minute, nope.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well done.
Let me see if I can.
I am much
so
confused.
Oblivion, based on Kaczynski's it's his unpublished graphic novel.
Yeah.
It pays homage to the 1970s science fiction films, namely The Martian Chronicles.
It definitely has that old school sci-fi style, and I dig that. It's also...
And the plot twist is virtually identical to the major plot twist in 2009's Moon. Which we have actually in our list. Somebody recommended Moon to us.
I remember that. I remember one stream someone recommended that. I think they're alluding to the fact that he finds his clone, which I mean, like, sometimes it's sci-fi. It's sci-fi. There's clones sometimes. There's AI sometimes. I don't know. I'm not that picky. I'm not going to be like, hey, I've seen this before. This sucks. It's like, no, there's so many other great things. It's not like, listen, if you're going to complain about ideas that have been done before, then don't watch Marvel. Don't tell me a Marvel movie's good because there's 25 movies that are identical.
That's the disconnect between critics and I think the average moviegoer. As critics, they nitpick, and obviously they know the genres that they're doing and stuff. But when it comes to the average moviegoer, they don't know about the other 50 sci-fi movies that are out there, so they'll be coming to watch this movie and say, actually, you know what, I liked it. And that's why it has a 61% on, is it 61? Yeah, 61% audience score.
Yeah, I think it's ahead of its time. Probably because, let's say Moon came out 4 years earlier, everyone still remembered it partially, but you release a movie like Oblivion now in a time when we really haven't had any particularly... Well, okay, Dune has been out, so maybe Dune will make this look kind of... I think if people watch Dune and then saw this, they'd be like, wow, this is like Dune, like a Dune ripoff, but it's really...
A lot of people are saying if you've seen Moon, then you've seen Oblivion. So we'll have to check Moon out to see if it's actually...
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I'm down for that. But I haven't seen Moon yet, so I have different opinions on Oblivion.
Me neither. So, I mean, maybe we'll just have to find out. But
yeah.
All right, so wrapping up that.
Yes. This brings us to...
Let us go to the Intergalactic movie ranking. Okay, so now I am thinking about this ranking as I am sitting here looking at this. Do you have one in mind already, or...
I do not have a score in mind right now. I mean, I'm kind of...
See, I'm kind of torn.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, a 7 seems fair. I think a 6.1 is too low. That's just me putting the audience score in our, 6 point whatever. 6.1 is too low. I think it's better than Escape Room.
Agreed. No. I mean,
it's not an 8 for me.
No.
At least.
Some just doesn't feel right about giving it an 8.
Like, okay, I loved the CG. I loved the scenery. Story was good. Tom Cruise acting was good. Um, everything looked grounded. It looked real. Um,
The
but
only
it just
thing
doesn't hit.
The only thing that didn't hit for me, I enjoyed this entire movie, except what I thought was kind of goofy was like how he was like, all right, even though you've been trying to kill me for a couple days, I'm coming up. And the alien's like, okay, what do you got? And he's like, that mission that, of course, I still care about, even though you tried to kill me after I didn't care about it. And then they point the drones, and he's like, this isn't suspicious. Here I come. And then the AI just kind of let him take out the bomb and the detonator while slowly trying to stop him. Like, oh no, what is that? What are you saying? Let me listen to your story about the Romans. So like that was the only thing that bugged me was that ending. But then I liked what happened after.
Yeah.
That, you know what that was? Independence Day. That was very Independence Day. The slow entering of the spaceship, with the detonator in the middle.
We've seen how fast those drones can move.
Yeah.
Like, we know that if that AI or the TET or whatever they're called really wanted to save itself, it would have had all the drones there, or it would have just had the drones in general in that room.
Yeah.
Because why would it trust it? Like, it has other Tom Cruises, other Jack Harpers to use. So why does it not do anything? That's sort of I think that's also a problem that the people had too. Was it was just that ending was just not it.
I liked what they did though, where she woke up and she.
But then now mentioning that now
I like that ending, except for how anticlimactic it was, where like he was kind of just letting.
I'm gonna say a 6-8.
Really? Crap.
I just feel like I don't know. Now that we've talked about that ending, I just feel like that's solidified.
That bugged you,
I was gonna originally say like a 7-2, but that ending.
Were you also bugged when like they weren't shooting him? Because in that scene, they kind of make the AI seem stupid. And I'm like, wait a minute, they just destroyed the whole human race and had this scheme to trick the rest of the people. Now you're telling me it's stupid? You know what I mean? So yeah, I loved everything about this movie. Like, I really enjoyed this movie up until that moment. That bugged me a lot. Because it was just like he had Ethan Hunt plot armor. Like, like, since they were going to kill him, it would have been way more impactful if he had the bomb in the ship, and instead of getting out and telling the story, he was just like, he was on the comms with the Tet, like the Tet's on the comms with him, and he's dodging drones as he tries to get close enough to detonate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
It more sacrificial than
yeah.
Let me bring Morgan Freeman, who's like dying, and let me put him in this thing, and he just has the bomb with him. Like, you're telling me that those drones couldn't scan that, and like, oh look, it's not the person that he's talking about, and they have 10 fuel cells glued together.
But
I wonder what they're going to do with that.
I figured it out. I just solved it. Okay,
Sherlock Holmes.
The reason the drones didn't shoot Tom when he was entering the ship was because the Tet desperately wanted that pod because it thought it was his wife, and the Tet knows that it wants to make the most effective team. So it knows that the most effective team would be his wife and him, not the other commander. So I think the Tet was like the reason the Tet was allowing him to come back and bring it was because it desperately wanted that perfect team.
Now that you bring that up, and like the ending where 52 comes out, you completely forget about 52.
Yeah.
Tech 52, and he's like,
"I saw you.
I love you. Like, you're my dreams."
Yeah, I like that because I thought it was funny because
now she actually gets to fulfill that life, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we just explained why he doesn't get killed, and it makes sense because then the drones can't shoot at him while he's on the ground with Morgan because if the drones shoot, they're going to detonate the bomb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So okay, I guess we solved this.
I'm still at a 6-8. You didn't convince me to go back to. You didn't convince me to go to a 7.2 like I was originally going to.
Oh, shoot. Because I like the 7.2. That felt good to me. I'm going to give this a 9.5. No, just totally destroy your score.
Cody's like, meet in the middle at an 8.6.
Yeah, this is a 10. This is as good as Reminiscence. Reminiscence, that's what's missing from this board. We totally forgot about it. It's totally missing.
That is great.
Oh my god. That's great. How forgettable it is. The one movie we're missing.
We made sure that movie 43 was in there and not Reminiscence.
That's how forgettable a movie it was. Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna give this a solid 7.
You don't want to give it a 7 though.
What?
I feel like you don't want to give it a 7. I feel like you're only giving it a 7 because you just said 7.2. Oh, good.
It's Tom Cruise.
I know, and we literally. How is it possible that Tom Cruise, the same director, made a movie that was a 10 out of 10 for us? But when we go back and watch a movie with literally the two same people, even though it's a different concept,
different genre as well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna give this a 7.1. That's how I'm feeling.
7.1. Okay.
You're gonna have to meet me at 6.95. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. What do you do in the middle of a 7.1 and a 6.8? I guess it's got to be, probably like a 6.9.
Yeah. Let's just do 6.9, 6.9.
It's bittersweet. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been great.
Because
I don't know. It's hard to tell because there's it's weird, to give it a low score.
And you know what?
It's not bad. It's just not amazing.
I would classify it, potentially as a favorite.
That's true. This might be the lowest rated favorite, if we agree on that.
Cody's like, I don't.
Well, no. I didn't say that. I'm thinking.
I don't know if I just want to project it as a favorite. I don't know. It's also just because it's Tom Cruise, but this compared to Edge of Tomorrow, that's the next thing. Edge of Tomorrow is also sci-fi.
Yeah.
And
no, Edge of Tomorrow is better than this.
Edge of Tomorrow is also ranked at a 7.9.
This is also a very dramatic, slow story. There is action, but the build-up is more important. This is very dramatic and slow, kind of romanticized sci-fi. You know what I mean? It's a different genre that I don't think a lot of people are into. It's a very specific genre of sci-fi, very 70s. I do like how it's simplified it is in a lot of aspects. There isn't a lot going on in this movie.
Yeah.
Which I did enjoy because it leaves a lot to the imagination. So it's not that it's a bad movie. And would I watch this again? Honestly, I don't know. Would you watch this again?
I feel like I would, but I wouldn't. It would take me a long time to watch it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Movie Knots, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you want to see more of what we do, skits and just funny posts, that's all on our Instagram. And then we will see you all in the next episode. And we will let you know there on Instagram what the next movie is. So, yeah.
Hey, what's the Instagram so I can follow?
It's into.themovieverse. So.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, into.themovieverse. I mean, if you look up Into the Movieverse, it comes up. So.
Well, somebody has that on Instagram, which is why it's into.themovieverse. So.
Oh, that's annoying. That's frustrating. We probably have more followers than they do.
I'll have to go buy it from them or something for
give it to us.
$5. A lot of things in the pipeline here, so stay tuned. Cody, great outro.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time as we Tom Cruise sprint out of here.
Now that's a good movie. I swear to God, if you go higher than a 6, we're done.